I don't know if y'all watch Senate hearings or not. Sometimes they can be boring, sometimes they're a bit exciting, and most of the time hypocrisy is revealed. And this is not an exception. So Kash Patel had a hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And as always, the Democrats are asking him the most ridiculous questions. And at the end of this clip, she actually reveals a huge hypocritical moment in the Democrat Party and something that they constantly try to use to defend men and women's sports. Well, she just knocked it. She just exposed it all. So let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, just like the rest of the federal government, there have been significant personnel changes at the FBI since President Trump took office. I want to better understand the scope of the turnover and the changes occurring at the FBI. Since January 2025, how many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or otherwise separated from employment? I need a number.
We'll get you a number.
What is the number? You don't have it?
Not off the top of my head, and I want to get you the right number.
Would it surprise you to know that it's probably in the thousands, like 5,000?
I don't think that number's accurate.
You don't know. Next question. How many special...
If he doesn't know the number, how the hell do you? Where'd you get 5,000 from? Where'd that number come from? She just made it up. She literally just made it up. And also, this is a stupid question. Why do you need to know that number? Wouldn't you be more interested in knowing why people are fired, or what they actually did to get fired, or what they didn't do to get fired, whether or not they were actually good at their jobs or not? Like, wouldn't you rather that he go back to the office and have some people send you over some examples of that so that you can make sure that he's firing people for the right reasons, instead of wanting to know a number that he's not going to know? This is my opinion about this. They pick questions that are irrelevant instead of asking pertinent questions that would actually make sense. And they ask questions that are irrelevant, and they know that they're irrelevant, and they choose those irrelevant questions because they know that their irrelevancy is going to mean that the person they're asking the question to isn't going to be able to answer the question. Therefore, they know that they're not going to get answers to the questions that they're asking, at least some of them. And then they're going to use that example to say that he's unqualified, even though he is qualified. Like, I keep seeing people repeat this line that these people are unqualified. None of these idiots, I know that these people probably know that they are qualified, even though they're saying that they're not. But then you have people online that go and say, oh, they're not qualified. They should pick someone that's qualified. Bitch, look up the qualifications. It's not much. It's not much. But they ask these stupid ass questions that they know they're not going to get an answer to, because then they get their little moment online where they can say, oh, Kash Patel's unqualified because he couldn't answer the stupidest question ever. Dumbass. And then you want to come up and make up a number. 5,000 people have been fired from the FBI. Oh, was that maybe the 5,000 people that were working on the January 6th case? Maybe that's where, maybe she's got a little bit of internal guilt there. She knows that that the former FBI director was actually allocating 5,000 people to hunt down people from January 6th instead of doing other things. Yeah.
agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Say, we will get you the numbers, and anyone that retires is of their own volition, and anyone that is terminated at the FBI, as I've said before, is done so because they have failed to meet the standards and uphold their loyalty and oath to the Constitution.
Yeah, so you say. Next question. How many executives...
That should be what she wanted to know, but no. No, the number is more important. The number is more important than whether or not he is firing people for cause.
Assistant directors, or special agents in charge have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Again,
Who
people
cares?
leaving on their own accord or terminations were done by the standards set at the FBI that have been carried out
With this question, I'm getting
consistently.
to the leadership of the FBI, and you don't have that
No, you're not.
answer.
That's not a pertinent
Next
question.
question, which field office, division, or directorate has lost the most personnel since January 2025? And, well, do you have the answer to that question?
Yeah, actually, every single field office in the country, including Hawaii, has received a plus up of FBI agents because we're pushing them out to the field.
Okay, so you're telling me that no field office, division, or directorate has lost any personnel since January 20th, 2025? That's your answer?
In Hawaii, there's been a plus up. In every single state that I'm looking at, we have allocated a plus up for field offices across the country so that the FBI can continuing the historic achievements it's done in these last 7 months. When you're talking about firings, you're looking for a media hit and a fundraising clip, and I'm not going to give it to you.
It doesn't matter under what basis they left. I just want to know how many have left. And I think your testimony is nobody has left. Next question.
Nope,
Which
that's
field-
not my testimony. You asked it one time. I answered it one time. You didn't get the answer you wanted for your clips. So you keep
question.
asking it, and I told
As if you can't be hiring people at the same time that you're firing people. I'm sure there are a bunch of people that have applied to the FBI and would love a job at the FBI. So I'm sure that they have no shortage of a pool of candidates that they can hire as they're firing people that did not do their job well or are politicizing the FBI. Is that like, I honestly think that this woman is kind of stupid. Like, I know that she's trying to get her moment and she's trying to ask him dumbass questions that are completely irrelevant. But I also think she's stupid. Like, I don't think she fully, like, people get elected in that have never like run a business or really been in charge of a whole lot, or they do mediocre at their job or whatever. They don't have problem solving skills. They can't fully wrap their mind around things. I really think that some of these senators are really just dumb. And I think that about this one.
you I'd get you the numbers, but you can keep asking it.
Which field office, division, or directorate has gained the most personnel since January 2025? You noted that there have been plus ups, so which offices have received these plus ups?
The greatest allocation that I believe was given to California and then Florida.
Where were those offices?
California and Florida.
Thank you.
Rich,
Director
can you
Patel,
not hear?
often refer to FBI agents as cops. All of us, Democrats and Republicans, support the police officers who keep our communities safe. But while our states, cities, counties, and towns all employ police officers to protect our communities, Congress has empowered and equipped the FBI to take on missions that local police cannot, especially taking on terrorists, hackers, and spies. I'd like to assess how well the FBI is able to handle its specialized missions under your leadership. The FBI is the nation's lead federal law enforcement agency for investigating and preventing acts of domestic and international terrorism. And yet the executive assistant directors in charge of the FBI's national security and intelligence branches were both forced out at the beginning of the year. Who replaced them in those positions?
Excellent qualified personnel to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone. That's twice as many as
people
before.
who took the places of
I'm not going to give you any names so you can attack them.
Why not?
So you can attack them. I'm not doing that. The
You're not
people
gonna
sitting
give
in
me the
those seats
names
are
of-
extremely qualified to handle the job.
You're
We
not
would
gonna
not
give
have
me
the
the names
results.
of
We would,
personnel who
we would
should
not
be
have the
on your-
reduction
Right,
of
fine,
violence in the
moving
state
on.
of Hawaii if we did not allocate the
Earlier
resources we
this
did.
year, FBI counterterrorist special agents and
Notice how he's trying to tell her actual facts and results. She's not interested in the results. She's not interested in hearing that the FBI has caught more people this year than last year. She's not interested in why are you even having this hearing if you don't care about the results, you don't care about the work that he's actually doing. All that you want is dumbass shit that doesn't even matter.
Investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration enforcement. Reportedly, these counterterrorism experts were returned to the jobs they trained for in late January after Iran threatened to retaliate for our strikes on their nuclear facilities. Have those experts remained in the jobs they trained for since that time? Yes or no?
FBI agents' primary responsibility is exactly what they are assigned to do. We always work with our
So since they
interagency part.
returned to their positions,
If you're not
are
going to
they
let me
still in
answer,
those
why don't you
positions?
just do your soliloquy in the 4.5 minutes you have
I
left?
am not asking for a soliloquy. It's just a yes or no. Are those people who were returned to their jobs still on those jobs? Yes or
They
no?
never left.
What was that?
They never left their primary job. It is a surge of resources in law enforcement working with the interagency to combat violent crime and reduce
They were
violent
never-
crime in
okay, they were never
historic
reassigned to do immigration.
proportions.
That's your testimony.
I'm not an expert on the FBI, but I'm pretty sure the FBI and the police force actually work together. They always have and they always will. Like that's actually how this works. What the hell?
Okay, Director Patel, the FBI
If anybody's not qualified, it's this bitch.
is also the lead federal agency for investigating cyber attacks and
Yes.
cyber intrusions, both by foreign nation states and by non-state hacker groups. Since President Trump's inauguration, the executive assistant director in charge of the criminal and cyber branch and the head of the FBI's cyber division have both left the FBI. What are the names of the people who replace them in those positions?
The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase from the same time last year.
It's that
So
branch,
any
Mr.
Again, she's interrupting while he's trying to tell her facts and results. That should be what you want to know. You should be asking, how many violent crimes have you helped reduce? How many terrorists have you caught? How many sex traffickers have you caught? How many cartel members have you caught? She should be asking questions like that, not how many people were fired? How many people were hired? Give me the names of people I'm not going to know anything about, even if you give me the names of those people. Oh my gosh, this is retarded.
suggestion that the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever before. The leadership at the branch is implementing these changes necessary to attack the cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators
You
from
know
Iran,
why
China,
they're
and Russia.
important? I want to know who has those positions, since
You
the
don't know them.
people who originally were there.
Supremely
are no longer
qualified
there.
individuals have those
Who
positions.
are they?
Supremely qualified individuals.
Who are they? What are the names?
You're not
You
getting
don't
them.
know. Special agents who investigate cybercrime were also reassigned for immigration enforcement. Have those expert investigators returned to their duties? Yes or no?
All agents remained on their primary duties while surging to allocate resources for interagency operations to the Homeland Security task forces across this country.
So are you,
Am I what?
see, I'm not getting the yes or no answers. I get all this explanation. So there you go.
No, you get the work that
Are
the men
you
and women of the
planning
FBI are doing, and you
Any
don't want that.
additional
Exactly.
personnel cuts to the cyber division in the future?
The only people that will be terminated at the FBI will be those that violate their oath of office or fail to meet the high standards at the FBI.
Director Patel, the FBI is meant to be the tip of the spear in combating terrorism against the United States from both foreign and domestic
No shit.
sources. It's also our lead agency in fighting the hackers who target our businesses and critical infrastructure. But instead of a specialized role fighting these kinds of terrorists, hackers, and spies, you have the FBI playing the role of local
See,
police.
she's
and
she's
helping-
acting like she doesn't even. She's acting like he didn't even just tell her that their success has increased over the past 7 months. Like she's literally acting like he did not just tell her that the exact same people that she's asking about actually increased their results over last year. That doesn't matter at all.
Immigration enforcement. I'm going to move on to my.
Yeah, move on to your next
We've been asked
retarded
some
question.
questions about changes to your hiring standard, and including college degrees and possibly the age. But one question I had is,
Look at it. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She did not even know what this question was. Somebody else wrote down this question for her. She did not even know, and now she has to read it. I'm surprised she just didn't say, never mind. But of course, then she would look even more retarded.
that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you
What's that
requiring-
now? What's that? What did she just say? That there are physiological differences between men and women? No. No way. I thought you guys believed that it's perfectly fine for men to play in women's sports. I thought that men didn't actually have a leg up on women regarding their physicality. But what is it? Oh, so now that it actually is something that you think will support whatever argument you're about to make, now all of a sudden there's physiological differences between men and women. Interesting. Interesting how there are physiological differences between men and women when you want to lower standards so that more women can get jobs that they cannot, that not all of them can necessarily perform well at. And obviously, if you're in the FBI, if you're out in the field, you have to be able to tackle people. You got to be able to get out of certain spaces if necessary, and all kinds of things. So I could imagine that you would have to do a certain kind of pull up so that they know that you could actually like pull yourself up out of something if you had to, or at least have the strength to do the job. But no, now it's a problem. Now women and men have physiological differences all of a sudden. It just happened just now.
These kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
So are
being
you requiring
appropriately
these
assessed.
kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy
Excuse me,
and put
the
him in
reason I
handcuffs, you
ask-
better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Doing one
Anyway.
Why do you want FBI agents that are not physically capable of doing the job putting other FBI agents and citizens in danger? She's asking all these dumbass questions about how many people were fired, how many people were hired, are they qualified? Bitch, you just said you don't give a shit if they're qualified physically to do the job. So you don't want the results. You don't want them to be physically capable of doing the job as long as they're women. And like you literally don't care about the success that has been had. You don't care. They do not care about any level of success that the Trump administration has. Their only goal, the only goal that they have right now is to try and defame these people and try to make stupid, retarded people on the internet believe that all of these people are unqualified. Because the stupid, retarded people on the internet also are just as retarded as this idiot.
pull-up
Mr.
is not
Patel,
harsh,
I
and there are
am
always
greatly
medical
concerned.
exemptions to that.
I am gravely concerned by the state of the FBI under your control, and in fact, you are willing to take a cut in your agency of almost $500 million. So the FBI is losing dedicated employees, decades of expertise and specialization, leading to loss to early retirements, firings, and reassignments to immigration enforcement or conducting local police work. Thousands have already left.
See, she's not taking into consideration any real valuable information that he actually said. She doesn't care. She doesn't care how the FBI is running. She would rather that it run shitty like under the Biden administration and people be allocated to dumb shit like trying to hunt down whoever was standing on the corner during January 6th, not even necessarily the people that actually hit anyone or broke anything. No, they were hunting down just people that were just there. And they were still working on it before Kash took over. But she didn't care about that. She doesn't care about all the success that he's had. She doesn't care about the real information that all that she cares about is just saying. It's like it's embarrassing to watch. I couldn't imagine sitting there and someone actually gave me better answers than what the answers would be to the questions that I had to ask, and telling me that they've actually increased the volume and success, and still having my same little statement that somebody wrote up for me after we're done with this back and forth, and still say, I think that the FBI is in danger under your care, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh, y'all. These people are insufferable. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already so you don't miss any more content. It is free, and I will see you on the next one.